Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all the honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kwadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of the Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And to the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayat, the the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. Alright, this is going to be part 2 of my camp video. It's going to be entitled, My Soul is Among Lions, part 2. And we're going to get started with the book of Daniel, chapter 6, starting from the top, verse 1. And this was in the time of Darius when he took over from, excuse me, when he took over after Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans, was slain. And Darius is a Mede, and they are Japhites, descendants of Japheth, one of the sons of Noah. So, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. This is Daniel chapter 6, verse 1. It says, It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give accompts unto them, and the king should have no damage. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents, and no princes, above the presidents and princes, because an excellent spirit was in him. And the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and the princes sought to find occasion. Okay, they were looking to find fault in Daniel, against Daniel, concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion, nor fault. For as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. So Daniel was righteous, he was honorable, and he was faithful, and he did no wrong. Okay? But these presidents and princes, they were jealous. Like I said before, that's the thing that goes on in society, man, when you have haters that are jealous of you because you have what they want, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get what you have. Okay? In fact, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6. Proverbs 6 and 34. And it says, For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. Okay? And this is a twofold script. It can go into, not only a woman, an adulterous woman, messing around with another man behind her husband's back, but this can also go into other things, covetousness, like you have something that someone else desires, and they're jealous of you for it. And and that's what these men are. They're jealous of Daniel. Now, verse 5. Then said these men, We shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his power. Okay? So, they were looking, so if we can't find fault in him, since, he was loyal and faithful to first and foremost, Yahweh Bashem Shai, but, he was trustworthy in the sight of King Darius. So they couldn't find no dishonor or deceit in him. So what they had to do is they had to attack him through his faith, his religion, what he believed in. Verse 6, Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said, thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. Verse 7, All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute, and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any power or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. Okay? Verse 8, now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Verse 9, wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Verse 10, now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his power, as he did aforetime. So, you know, the book of the scripture, roughly paraphrasing, a prudent man foreseeth the evil. Okay, he saw what was coming. You know, Daniel saw what these men were doing. They were, you know, consulting together against him. Okay, verse 11. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his power. Verse 12. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that ask a petition of any power or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the captivity of the children of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. Verse 14, then the king, when he heard these words, he was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. So King Darius, he was troubled, and he was trying to do whatever he could to help out Daniel. But, you know, that decree that he signed so blindly, you know, and it says here, and he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. Verse 15, then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, know, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persians is, that no decree nor statute which the king establisheth may be changed. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, thy power whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. Verse 17, and a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. So, feeling the guilt, you know, of doing this to Daniel, he fasted. He couldn't sleep. He didn't want to be entertained by his servants or anything. He just wanted to be left alone in his room because he felt that guilt for what he did. Okay. Verse 19. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the den of lions. Verse 20. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living power, is thy power, whom thou servest continually, able to deliver thee from the lions? Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. Verse 22, my power hath sent his angel, and had shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me. For as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. Then was the king exceeding glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Verse 24, Salakia. And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions, them, their children, and their wives, and the lions had the mastery of them, and brake all their bones in pieces, or ever they came at the bottom of the den. So those lions got busy and tore those men and their families apart. Okay? In fact, this is Isaiah Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. And it says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." And that's what happened. An unrighteous decree to put an innocent man, to put an innocent man's life in danger out of jealousy. And look what happened. You know, what goes around comes around. Okay? Verse 25. Then King Darius wrote unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. Verse 26, I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men tremble and fear before the power of Daniel, for he is the living power, and steadfast forever, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the end. He delivereth and rescueth, and he worketh signs and wonders in heaven and earth, who hath delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. Verse 28, so this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. Okay, now we're going to get to the book of Psalms. Let's see. Psalms 60, was it 68? No. Oh, man. Actually, let's look at Psalms 141 and 9. Let me get it real fast. Psalms 141 and 9. And it says, keep me from the snare which they have laid for me, and the gins of the workers of iniquity. Verse 10, let the wicked fall into their own nets, whilst that I withal escape. Okay? So, those who plot against the just, you know, they'll become victims of their own devices, and they'll ultimately fall, while the just, you know, they'll have a way to, you know, escape. This is going to be Psalms chapter 38. Verse 12, and it says, they also that seek after my life lay snares for me, and they that seek my hurt speak mischievous things, and imagine deceits all the day long. Okay? And that's exactly what those men tried to do to Daniel, you know? Lay a snare, seek to do him harm, speak mischievous things about him, imagine deceits all the day long. And look what happened. It came back to bite him in the ass, literally and figuratively. Okay? So, you know, that's why we have to be blameless in the sight of a perverse nation. Because these people, they look for even the slightest thing to use against us. Alright, this was part 2 of My Soul is Among Lions. You know, and those lions, you know, they could represent the other nations because, you know, they seek to devour us. You know, like Psalms 83. Psalms 83, verse 1, it says, keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. Verse 2, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Verse 4, they have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. Okay? Verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom, the so-called white people, the Ishmaelites, the Arabians, Moab, the Chinese, the Hagarims, who are, I believe they're Hamites, Gabal, and Ammon, the so-called Japanese, Amalek, who are the elites of the Edomites who are in the land right now, the black hats, the ones that call themselves Jewish, the Philistines, which are Hamites, and the inhabitants of Tyre, Hamites, Assur, who are Assyrians, also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. So, you know, these other nations are those lions, you know, and we constantly pray, call upon the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, you know, to keep us from the snares that they privily lay for us. Because, you know, like I said, jealousy. They hate us because we have Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And they do whatever it is that they can to keep us low while they stay above us. But you know, that's not going to happen, not for too much longer. Our sentence here in this captivity is almost over. We're almost out of here. So I just got to be patient and keep doing the right thing by the Lord's eyes and by his commandments. And you know, Lord willing, that we are, you know, accounted worthy to escape the said perils that are to come out of this book. All right? And with that, I hope that this was edifying. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayat Davadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharallah, Wa Baba Shalom, Barakatah.